So welcome to Canadian Social Welfare Table Talk. And today we'll be talking about domestic violence. Domestic violence is an act between a couple within the same environment where one or both parties involved in the relationship can become aggressive or domineering. Domestic violence would be regarded as a social issue because it can be observed as acting like a domino effect due to its impact it has on everything and everyone surrounding the occurrence. The five main topics of domestic violence are physical violence, sexual violence, economic abuse, psychological abuse, and emotional abuse. So today we're going to be introducing Lisette. Welcome, Lisette. What happens if you don't feel safe at home? What are some laws related to domestic violence? Tell me.
Hi, Crystal. Thank you for having me today. If you don't feel safe at home, the first that you have to do is create a safety plan. That means that you call someone that you trust in. You need to identify places to go, make a copy of your important documents, and have an extra kit and documents and money in case that you need it. If something happens, please call the police. That is really important. Tell the truth and make a formal complaint. It's important to mention that we have two different courts. One is Ontario Domestic Violence Court. They handle criminal law, and the other court is Toronto Integrated Domestic Violence Court. Basically, they handle both criminal law and family case. It's important to mention too that court, like both courts, they have two different. They work using two different paths. One is the early intervention program that is for first offenders. Both parties or both partners have to agree to participate, and the aggressor have to participate in a counselor program. The other path is called coordinated persecution. Sorry, that word is difficult. Persecution response, and that is when the aggressor has prior convictions. So it's important to mention the last thing that I will tell you is around GTA you can find different organizations that will support you with legal crisis and psychology, yeah, we can say that, psychology support. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. That was wonderful. Okay, so now we will be introducing May. May, welcome. Give us a better understanding of domestic violence in Canada. Share some statistics with us.
Thank you, Crystal. According to CBC documentary in 2016, 1 in 5 women experience some form of abuse in their intimate relationship. And the majority of victims of spousal abuse are females, accounting for 83% of the victims. On average, every 6 days, a woman in Canada is killed by their intimate partner. So now I'm going back to the Statistics Canada. Police reports family violence in 2017. And the opposite says a female victim as rate 45%, whereas male victims 14%. However, since says female victims have a 77%, whereas same-sex male victims only 22%. This means this between same-sex domestic violence is higher than opposite-sex domestic violence.
So now to conclude our conversation, we're gonna head over to Julene. Hi, Julene.
Hi.
Can you talk to us about the impact of domestic violence on women and children?
For sure. Thank you, May, for sharing your statistics with us. It's important to keep in mind that the numbers only reflect women who have come forward to talk about their issues, and also women don't come forward because they fear that their husbands or their partner may find out, or they fear that the children might be impacted by the violence. Children who witness domestic violence often suffer long-term psychological difficulties. They're more so to struggle with emotional issues, anger issues, and engage in domestic violence themselves in their later years. Younger children often revert to old behaviors such as bedwetting, thumb sucking, or they become more attached to their parents. The older children feel responsible for the abuse and blame themselves, and they become withdrawn from school and activities. And in addition to that, children also resort to bullying and other forms of violence in order to cope with the domestic violence they're experiencing at home. Teenagers who understand the violence are more so impacted in ways that lead to self-harm, and surveys indicate that 7 to 23% of teens experience domestic violence, and 46 to 49% witness it. Teenagers are believed to act out more argumentative with parents and have a carefree lifestyle, and their attendance rate in schools drop. And this type of behavior is more common among boys than it is among girls. A girl who grows up in a home where her father abuses her mother is 6 times more likely to be sexually abused. And in 2008, just over 100,000 women were admitted to 596 shelters with their children in hopes of protecting them from the violence.
Wow, that was great. I love that. All right, so I would like to thank you so much for sharing this info. If you or someone you know is a victim of domestic violence, there are resources available to you. I'm going to post some resources, and here they are. Thanks for being with us today, and have a wonderful day.